The Resilience Revolution: How Mindset Transforms Adversity into Advantage. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to bounce back from setbacks like they're made of rubber, while others shatter like glass? The difference isn't luck or privilege or even talent, it's mindset. I recently had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Tasha Lincoln, a visionary whose work in transforming how we approach adversity has quite literally revolutionized thousands of lives across the globe. Her insights aren't just profound, they're transformative in ways that ripple through communities, businesses, and individual lives with remarkable precision. What Tasha has accomplished in creating spaces where resilience isn't just taught, but lived, especially for Black women entrepreneurs facing systemic barriers, deserves to be amplified from every platform, every rooftop, every conversation about human potential. You know that moment when life hands you what feels like an impossible situation? When you're staring at a mountain of obstacles and your inner voice is screaming, "This is too much." That's precisely when mindset becomes everything, not just important, everything. Here's the truth that changed my perspective forever: resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you build, decision by decision, setback by setback, breath by determined breath. Think about it. When was the last time you faced rejection and your first thought wasn't, "I'm not good enough," but instead, "What can I learn from this?" If you're like most of us, that shift doesn't come naturally. We're programmed for self protection, not growth through discomfort. Our brains are magnificent survival machines, expertly designed to avoid pain, not seek meaning within it. But what if I told you that the very thing you're avoiding, that uncomfortable space of uncertainty, is exactly where your breakthrough is waiting? What if the path forward isn't around the obstacle, but through it? During my conversation with Tasha, she shared something that stopped me in my tracks. The obstacle isn't in your way, the obstacle is the way. Let that sink in for a moment. The very thing blocking your path isn't blocking you at all, it's showing you where to go next. Consider Natasha K. Benjamin, nominated for the National Diversity Award as an Entrepreneur of Excellence. As a Black woman entrepreneur, Natasha didn't just face the normal hurdles of building a business. She confronted systemic barriers, limited access to networks, and funding challenges that disproportionately impact minority entrepreneurs. But here's where mindset made all the difference. Instead of seeing these barriers as reasons to quit, Natasha reframed them as opportunities to innovate. She focused relentlessly on building her brand through authenticity, seeking out mentorships specifically designed for Black professionals, and leveraging community support networks when traditional doors remain firmly closed. The result? Not only did she break glass ceilings within her industry, but her nomination for such a prestigious award highlighted something even more important. She became living proof that representation matters. Her journey from humble beginnings to launching successful ventures that serve diverse communities shows that perseverance can lead not just to personal success, but to broader societal impact. That's the power of a resilient mindset. It transforms "I can't because" into "but I will despite." It turns obstacles into stepping stones. It alchemizes pain into purpose. But let's be real: developing this mindset isn't like flipping a switch, it's more like building a muscle. Uncomfortable at first, requiring consistent effort, but ultimately making you stronger than you ever imagined possible. And sometimes the weight of that effort feels almost unbearable. Gregory Vetter's story illustrates this perfectly. As the founder of Tessemae's, an organic salad dressing company, Gregory faced significant business setbacks during the COVID-19 crisis. When the pandemic hit, his company was scaling rapidly. Then suddenly everything changed. The ground beneath him shifted, and what once seemed certain became terrifyingly precarious. Gregory found himself struggling with self doubt and the fear of failure. Sound familiar? We've all been there, questioning our abilities when things don't go as planned, wondering if we have what it takes to weather the storm. But here's where Gregory's story takes a powerful turn. Instead of surrendering to that fear, he leaned into mentorship from performance coaches who encouraged him to view failures as stepping stones rather than end points. He confronted his fears head on, embracing Joseph Campbell's philosophy. The cave you fear holds the treasure you seek. His journey included near bankruptcy moments that he transformed through relentless optimism and strategic pivots. By adapting his business model toward private label products and focusing on sustainability during uncertain times, Gregory not only survived, he thrived. He grew Tessemae's into an industry leader before launching multiple new businesses post pandemic, all rooted in lessons learned from hardship. Today, Gregory runs leadership retreats, teaching the very resilient skills that saved his business. His willingness to adapt positioned him not just as a successful entrepreneur, but as a mentor helping young leaders navigate their own adversity. That's what happens when you choose growth over comfort. Your struggles become your strength, your setbacks become your story, and your journey becomes inspiration for others who are still finding their way through the darkness. Speaking of inspiration, let me tell you about Shaniqua Stewart. Her story resonates deeply with anyone who's ever felt caught in the exhausting cycle of hustle culture, especially Black women who often feel pressured to work twice as hard for half the recognition. Shaniqua describes being initially overwhelmed by chasing every trend without fulfillment or direction, a common plight among early stage entrepreneurs striving against external pressures. She was doing everything right according to conventional wisdom, but something felt deeply wrong. The joy had disappeared, the purpose had faded, and in its place was exhaustion, resentment, and a growing sense that there must be another way. The turning point came when she paused long enough to ask herself what truly mattered most. Instead of continuing to chase external validation, Chaniqua realigned her focus around vision driven goals centered on empowering others. She transformed work into passion projects aligned with her core values. This mindset shift resulted in something remarkable: sustainable growth. Work became enjoyable again because it was meaningful, not just profitable. She built thriving programs supporting aspiring digital nomads across demographics, including many women of color founders seeking freedom through remote entrepreneurship. Her approach has created ripple effects throughout online business communities, advocating authentic leadership over hustle culture. By choosing purpose over pressure, Shaniqua didn't just change her business, she changed her life. And that's what Tasha Lincoln's insights reveal time and again. Mindset isn't just about achieving success, it's about redefining what success means on your own terms. It's about finding the courage to step away from society's narrow definitions of achievement and creating a path that honors your unique gifts, values, and vision. Now, I can already hear some of you thinking, that's great for them, but my situation is different. And you're right, your challenges are uniquely yours, but the principles of resilience are universal. No matter what you're facing, whether it's building a business in spaces that weren't designed for you, navigating career transitions in uncertain times, or simply trying to believe in yourself, when doubt creeps in, your mindset will either be your greatest limitation or your greatest asset. Here's what I've learned from these powerful stories: resilience isn't about never falling, it's about rising every time you fall and rising with greater wisdom than before. It's about understanding that consistency trumps intensity. Small steps taken daily, especially when things get tough, lead to meaningful change over time. Progress isn't about perfection, it's about showing up with determination and adaptability. It's about recognizing that your journey isn't just for you. Every time you push through adversity, you become a beacon of hope for others facing similar struggles. Your authentic story can motivate others to believe in their ability to rise above challenges. As Tasha so eloquently put it during our interview, when you overcome, you create a pathway for others to follow. This is particularly powerful for Black women entrepreneurs who often navigate spaces where few look like them or share their experiences. By remaining steadfast in pursuing excellence despite setbacks, you're not just building your own success, you're expanding possibilities for an entire community. So here's my challenge to you: take what you've heard today and transform it into action. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, but right now. Identify one area where negative thinking has held you back. Name it, acknowledge it. Then choose deliberately and consciously to reframe it. Ask yourself, what if this obstacle is actually pointing me toward my greatest growth? What if this rejection is redirecting me to something better? What if this setback is setting me up for a breakthrough? Then take one small concrete step forward. Make one phone call, send one email, have one difficult conversation. Practice one moment of self compassion, because resilience isn't built in grand gestures, it is built in these tiny moments of courage. And here's my promise to you: as you begin to shift your mindset, the world around you will shift too. Not because circumstances magically change, but because you'll see opportunities where you once saw only obstacles. You'll find strength where you once felt only weakness. You'll create possibilities where you once perceived only limitations. In a world that often tells us to shrink, to doubt, to fear, I'm asking you to expand, to believe, to dare. Because the truth is, we don't just need more resilient individuals, we need a resilience revolution. We need people who refuse to be defined by their circumstances, who insist on growing through adversity, who transform their pain into purpose. And that revolution begins with you, right here, right now, with the next choice you make, with the next thought you think, with the next story you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. So go ahead, embrace the discomfort, welcome the challenges, and watch as your mindset transforms not just your circumstances, but your entire life. And perhaps, just perhaps, the world around you. Thank you.